What's up, everybody? It's draft time. That's right. We're getting into another best ball draft so we can win lots of money. But more importantly, it's drafting. I mean, who doesn't want to draft? Just the draft itself, like I've already won because I got an excuse to draft a fantasy baseball team. Are you there yet, Chris? Just the fun of fantasy baseball drafts?
I mean, it is fun because honestly, I don't know. Like, I don't have deep player analysis when it comes to fantasy baseball. So it's mostly off of what I remember from last year. And plus, just the strategy of drafting and best ball drafting that I think applies to whatever sport you're doing. Like, it doesn't matter. So, yeah, it's fun because for me, it's not as, a football draft. I know all the players. I'm like, do I take this guy here? I'm like, this guy looks good. I need this.
Well, look, everybody has to start somewhere. I mean, that's not everybody who's in any of these drafts. Unless you happen to be in an expert league, you're not always playing with people who know all the players. You're not going to know everybody in the player universe. It's
True.
very rare. It's hard to also for me. I kind of make sure I try to get out of that mindset because I've been playing in like expert leagues for like a decade now, and it's like, yeah, not everybody knows who this guy is. So it's like I have to really step back sometimes. But look, knowing more doesn't always mean doing better either, because like you said, roster construction, right? Value, all those strategies that are just good fantasy strategies. That's just as important as knowing what this player did last year, because your player knowledge can be immaculate and you can still draft a horrible team. So I know that. We're going to get into it, though. It's called The Dinger. It's on Underdog. You guys have an Underdog account already, probably, because you're endgame viewers. Open up your app or get on UnderdogFantasy.com. If for some reason you haven't, your first time checking out these live drafts, go to Underdog. You can make an account right now. It takes just a couple of minutes, and you can get some free bonus cash to play with when you join these drafts. Just make sure you sign up and use code ENDGAME. You see it down there at the bottom, because you get the bonus cash. You're playing with free money to start out, and you get a free pick because MLB pick'ems are coming as soon as the season starts. And in fact, you can already do picks for the season, those season-long picks. But it's draft time. Let's get into the draft. We got plenty of time to talk after that. So get into the Dinger right here. It's their $10 best ball tournament, easy entry. We're going to do a live one, 30 seconds per pick, and we're going to get in the same one, I really hope. All right, let's go, everybody. 3, 2, 1. All right.
I'm pretty sure we're in the same one. It's got five more to start, yes.
All right, so 5 more. Anybody watching, if you're still waiting to get in, jump in there. What's up, Andrea? How you doing?
How you doing, Andrea?
Okay. So we're wait for a couple of people to join and we'll get started. I know some people were asking the other day about doing these, so we'll give some time for people to get on. Chandler, how's it going, Chandler? Okay, got a question. Who should I draft number 2? Batters, well, okay, if you're talking number 2 overall, it would be a hitter anyways. We're not drafting any pitchers number 2. We're not drafting pitchers. I'm not drafting a pitcher in round 1. Probably not even round 2, period. So, and then, Chris, I'll let you weigh on this too. Remember I think the first video I did of this entire offseason was Ohtani versus Judge, right? Who's number 1? Now I know who most people are taking number 1. It's Ohtani. Do you think that Ohtani should be just no doubt, no brain number 1 pick? Do you think he should be Judge, or do you think it should even be like Bobby Witt Jr.? And if one of those guys is gone, who do you like next best?
Well, I was like a little, again, I am not the player expert here, but I was a little nervous about Ohtani with the shoulder injury, and then he hit a home run in his first at bat of spring training. I'm like, okay, never mind. I guess there's nothing to be nervous about. I mean, I think Ohtani should be number 1. I know Judge probably should be number 2. And I really have no statistical like analysis to like say like, oh, he shouldn't be number 2.
Well, the difference, this is why I think it should be Otani. Judge isn't stealing bases for you, right? He doesn't give you that.
Right.
Otani gives you a ton along with the home runs, and so does Bobby Witt. Now, Bobby Witt isn't going to hit 50 or 60 home runs like Judge could, and he's not going to steal probably 50 bases like Otani could. But he's kind of that best of everything, like he's giving you high end value in everything. Not that the others don't, but Judge doesn't get you steals. Really, the only argument against Otani would be he might get hurt, but Aaron Judge has been hurt in the past too. Bobby Witt could get hurt just because he hasn't yet. It doesn't mean he can't this year. You know what I mean? So I feel like you can't really use that against him.
Right. Again, I think Otani's got to be number 1. If Otani gets hurt, he gets hurt. It's welcome to fantasy. If you don't want to deal with it, don't play.
Right.
My only worry for Aaron Judge, because I feel like, this happened a few years ago when he hit 62. And then what did he do the following year, right? I mean, he was still good. He wasn't like he was terrible. But we're talking about a guy who's like, he's only hit over 300 twice. Not the batting average is everything. So you got to think that 322 average is probably going to come down next year. Like, I don't know. It's just hard. Like you said, it's just hard for me because like Aaron Judge, if he only hits, say, 35 home runs, he's probably going to be a disappointment as a number 2 pick.
Oh yeah,
because like you said, he doesn't do all the other stuff, right? He's not gonna. It's not like, well, it's okay because he stole 30 bases. It's okay because he, got. It's like nah, because if he only hits 35 home runs, he's probably batting like 260 something, 270 something will probably be his end of season average. So he'll probably still be good for fantasy, but not worth the number 2 pick, which is why I kind of almost feel like Bobby Witt Jr. should go over him. But of course, there is a risk with Bobby Witt Jr. that, last year was kind of like his big breakout year. Can he repeat that? So I don't know. Just take Otani. I mean, can you really go wrong with either Judge or Bobby Witt?
Well, not really. If you get the number 2 pick, what a dilemma. I have to take one of the best 3 players in all of baseball. So there's no,
right.
I don't think there's a wrong choice.
Right.
My thing is, if you look at last year, Aaron Judge, like, how can you not take Aaron Judge if Otani's off the board? I say this because it's so easy to fall in that trap of look at what he did last year. And I know he's done it before, right? I know last year wasn't even Judge's best season, but it's really hard to follow up a monster season with another monster season, especially for a guy who is over 30 and, he has had injuries in the past. So I'm taking Bobby Witt Jr. second, if it's me. But if you want to take Judge, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right, we're full. Here we go.
We're full.
All right.
What did I get here?
The draft board. You got the 6. I got the 8.
Didn't I get 6 last draft? Pretty sure I got 6 last week. So I keep getting the same spots. I keep getting number 2 in football and number 6 in baseball. I should be really good. I should be really good at drafting here.
In football, I know that.
Okay. Should be really good at this by now.
Well, you got to mix it up. You can't take the same players.
True.
All right. Quick reminder, this is a best ball tournament, and it's a little different if you've never done this before, if you've never watched this before. You're not filling an entire team. No catcher, first base, third base, shortstop. No. It's infield, outfield, pitcher. There's only 3 position categories, and you only need 3 of each in your starting lineup plus 1 flex, and then the rest are going to be bench players. So infield out is all a collective here. Outfield is probably where you want to start early. So you're going to see a lot of outfielders go off the board in the first round because the fall off is a lot quicker than it is for infield. And just like that, you're up.
All right. Well, last time I took Kyle Tucker, so this time we'll take Corbin Carroll.
All right. Mix it up. Well, Tucker falls to me. I'm going to take Tucker.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, not too bad. Now, also, two things for those who don't know, this is best ball. So you're not setting lineups either. It's draft, set, forget. It's going to automatically get your highest scoring players each week. So you want those spike weeks. You also want guys who will hopefully last the whole season. I'm not saying you want them to be injured, but if they do, it's not the end of the world because it'll automatically fill in your next best player for scoring. But you also can't make waiver wire moves or trades. So it's that balance, right? Getting that balance between upside, but not taking on too much risk. And then just also, this is a points league. So I'm not going to go into details of all the points. If you really want to know all those rules, I know I've said them before, but you can always, of course, when you're on Underdog, check out the details there. But one guy I feel is going a little bit later than he had been is Julio. I know you weren't a big fan last year. If you fall, are you tempted?
Oh, I think you have to. I think you have to take the chance here.
Oh,
I mean, you know what you're going to get with Julio Rodriguez. You're going to get nothing the first half of the season except pain and heartache.
Yeah. Wow, Matt Olson. That's a little early for him. I might have a dilemma here. I mean, if Julio's still there, I probably should take Julio. I think I've put Jackson Churio one peg above Julio for my draft rankings. Now, this is a little different. It's not a roto league. It's best ball, but I'm also tempted by Vlad.
Ronald Acuna.
Wow. Oh, it's early for Ronald Acuna. Okay, I'm just going to take Julio. I'm not going to sweat it. Yeah. All right. So Ronald Acuna. Look, I know this is best ball, so take some of what I just said, but like we already know he's not going to be 100% for a little while. And even when he is like full go, how many bases is he stealing? Right? A guy coming off another ACL. I don't know. I think people are being a little too optimistic.
Yeah, I don't think I'm drafting Ronald Acuna this year.
I mean, not where he's been taken.
So So talk to me about the hype for Jackson Churio. Am I falling for a guy who's all hype, no substance, like another Julio?
No. Well, I mean, look, nothing's guaranteed, right? Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how talented you are. But we saw last year. I mean, I guess you could say, well, that's what Julio did, right? Like slow first half, on fire second half. I mean, it could be, but
oh man, he's only 21 years old.
In all of baseball before last year, power, speed, average, everything. But it doesn't mean he's going to break out. I mean, this could be another Julio 2.0. It could be a trap this early.
Well, at least this time it's the second round, not like pick 5 or whatever Julio was last year.
True.
Pick 2. Wasn't he like pick 2?
Yeah, he was a little too early. Look, he didn't have a bad season. It was just the beginning was disappointing, like massively disappointing. I think, to me, I'm a little bit worried about James Wood, who isn't going, round 1 or 2, but I'm a little more nervous to take him at his ADP in round 3. But nobody's a sure thing. All right, we got Paul Skeens, first pitcher off the board.
Yeah, it's pretty good value getting him at the end of the second.
Yeah, I think you got him last draft, didn't you?
Yeah.
Cooper saying we'll do an auction roto. Auction that's some serious business. I mean, I do some auction leagues, but yeah, streaming those, that's an all night affair for baseball. I did an auction 2 weeks ago. Well, Chris, Tristan from our football.
Yep. Yep.
He's hardcore. His
He is
leagues are
hardcore.
no joke. No joke. We did an auction league with, is it 18 or 20 teams? I think it was a 20 team auction. Yeah, it took about 4 hours.
All right. Who do we like better, Langford or Santander?
Oh, well, I'm definitely Langford there.
All right, let's just take Langford.
I mean, Langford is the one guy I think everybody's like collectively saying, okay, that could be the trap pick, but I don't know. I'm in on Langford. I know the ADP is high, but no risk it.
Yeah, in this format, I'm willing to, take those risks.
Yeah, exactly. You can take a little more chances here. Bryce Harper. Here's the hype. You're going to see him go here pretty soon. You're very familiar with Michael Trout.
Yep.
His ADP continues to rise. Why? Because he hasn't gotten hurt yet.
Yet.
I'm not doing it at all. Just period. Like, I don't care.
No. I can't even believe Mike Trout is still on the Angels. How is Mike Trout still on the Angels, but Shohei Ohtani isn't?
I mean, you got to give him credit for being loyal, right? He hasn't asked out. Like, he should. At this point, who would blame him, right? It's like I almost feel bad for him. It's like, come on, dude, you don't have to be the good guy. Just demand a trade and get out of there.
But at the same time, it's like, okay, go ahead, demand a trade. Say I want out of this organization, but it's not like you're helping your own case by playing 50 games every year.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's true.
It's not like he's out there 150 games, putting his body on the line. It's like he gets hurt. He misses 100 games every year. So, like,
I mean, look, there are many things the Angels have done wrong. Anthony Rendon being the main one, and then blowing it with Ohtani. But Mike Trout, yeah, it's true. I mean, part of it is the fact that the guy they're depending on is gone for big chunks of multiple seasons. So that's part of it. All right, let's see here. Okay, so I'm definitely going outfield. I've got a lot of Riley Green. Do I want some more? You know what? I'll take a guy that I really don't take that often, but this is pretty much fair for where he's going. Let's go Michael Harris. And there's Riley Green. Oh, I thought you might go Jazz again. You're mixing it up, though.
Yeah, take the outfielders while I can. Nothing wrong with Jazz.
Right. Yeah, one thing, if you've watched these before, if you've done these, you'll know. I think I already said it. I'm pretty sure I say it every time. Outfield, you want to prioritize early. This is the I know you can relate. It's the same thing with football, any sport. It's the part of the preseason where it's like, all right, we're playing games, right? Spring training, we're seeing guys hit some home runs, look really good in like 2 innings, and it's like I'm trying my hardest to just ignore, like not even check the news, right? Like forget the highlights, forget the looked amazing in 1 inning. Uh,
Right.
It's like, come on, like we're playing, and then they don't tell you like who did he hit that home run off of? Like it was this fifth string, reliever who's not going to make the team. You know what I mean? It's like
Right.
I'm really trying to not look at any spring training news at all, because that's going to sway what I already have in my mind of these players going into draft season. But it's hard because like you want
It is
to keep
hard.
up on the news, right?
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard not to get caught up in it, but at the same time, I mean, we've been doing this long enough that we know, like, how many hyped up players in preseason in the NFL do absolutely nothing that year. Just do nothing.
Exactly.
Like the other thing is, I mean, I don't know how it works. Baseball spring training is probably a little different. But like in football preseason, a lot of times the starters don't even play. Even
right.
Even maybe the second stringers may not even play. Let's go with the Aussie Albies bounce back. So
Nice
if a guy's putting up highlights in the preseason, it's probably not a good thing because it probably means he's not actually a starter.
That's right. That's exactly right. Yeah, they'll play, but sparingly. You know what I mean? But also, it's the competition. You have split squad games where it's like half the team is starters and half the team is fringe roster players. And they're playing against something similar on the other side. It's like you don't really know what to make of it, either way. So this is where you kind of do have to take a little bit more advanced approach. You look at, okay, how's he swinging the bat? Like, is he hitting the ball hard? They're tracking bat speed. I already saw something the other day about bat speed, risers and fallers. But then you look at the sample size, it's like 15 swings, 6 swings. Like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be even looking at this at all, right? It's like, am I really worried about how fast he swung those 5-6 times? It's like, yeah, I don't know when it's too much information.
So you could be like me over here, has no idea what's going on, really.
You know what? Sometimes it's better to not have too much information.
For sure. Wow, I just saw Christian Kirk to the Texans.
Yeah, well, so much for my Cooper Cup theory. I guess they got their slot guy.
Wow.
Okay, Matt.
Guess that means Diggs isn't coming back.
Nah, I don't even know if Diggs is going to be ready for the season.
Nah.
All right, let's go. You know what? Actually, I changed my mind. No, I changed my mind back. I'll go pitcher. I almost did Junior Caminero, but I'm gonna go pitcher. That's like
Blake Snell is on the Dodgers?
he is. Just like every other free agent pitcher.
Man. All right.
So you're okay. I know I probably asked you this before. I'm geographically ignorant. Southern California, where you are, it's technically like supposedly like Angels country, right? You're closer to, let's say, Anaheim than you are to where the Dodgers are.
Yes, but there's still way more Dodger fans than Angel fans here.
I bet. Everybody likes a winner.
It's like
but
it's
is
like
it
the
always been
Lakers
that
and the
way, or
Clippers.
like?
I mean, what's that?
But has it been that way just recently because the Dodgers are good and the Angels aren't, or has it always
No,
been that way?
it's always been that way. It's like the Lakers and the Clippers. Even though I know they both play in LA, it's like it's Laker country. Like,
Right.
yes, there are Clipper fans. Just like, yes, there are Angel fans, but it's Dodger country still. I mean, we're only like with no traffic, we're only like 45 minutes from Dodger Stadium.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
They're not that far apart. It'd be like, the New York Knicks and the Brooklyn whatever Nets, whatever their team name is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, they're close by to each other, but come on, it's the Knicks country.
Right. They're like
the Yankees Mets. It's like Yankees Mets. Although where do the Mets play?
They're in Queens, I think.
All right, so they're not that far apart.
Nah, it's like a little brother kind of thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, just wondering.
Oh, there are a lot of flyers in this range here. Let's go pitcher. Although I do kind of wanted to go Altuve there.
Yeah, in this format, I feel like Altuve is a good value. His ADP is kind of surprisingly low. All right, get my boy. You're an anti-Dodgers fan there.
Not a good time to be an anti-Dodgers fan.
Well, I mean, I think after not only winning and then doing what they did this offseason, but beating the Yankees head to head, I mean, they kind of are becoming the new evil empire, right? Instead of the Yankees.
Yep. That's how it works.
Well, it's like the Lakers, right? You're either a Lakers fan or you're a Lakers hater because you're jealous.
Exactly. But it's funny because, it's like the Eagles in the Super Bowl. Everybody wanted the Eagles to win. But if the Eagles win the Super Bowl again next year, now everybody's going to be like, oh, I hate the Eagles. Oh, I'm tired of the Eagles.
Exactly. That's how it works. That's
how it works.
Make it make sense.
Apparently we have somebody from Detroit.
Okay.
Cooper saying go
Tigers
Tigs,
and Pistons.
Tigers, go Pistons.
Yeah, if you're a Pistons fan, you definitely got to be from Detroit.
Yeah.
What was it? You have some sort of a Detroit connection, right? You're a University of Michigan fan.
Yeah, my grandfather grew up just outside of Detroit, but he was a big Tigers fan. Alan Trammell was his favorite player growing up.
I like Alan Trammell.
And then big Lions fan as well, even though they were never any good.
Until this year.
Yeah, but they're still doing Lions things, right? They're still doing Lions things.
They're still
getting everybody's hopes up and then ripping their hearts out.
Yeah, those people who got a little overexcited and put money on the Lions to win the Super Bowl, that's probably a bad idea. All right. I can never resist George Kirby. Although I do already have Logan Gilbert. Not that that should matter. Let's mix it up. We're talking Dodgers. I'll take a guy big on last year. I do see that Jacob deGrom's ADP has definitely gone down, which is good. Needed to settle down. So our draft is coming up in a little over 2 weeks, right? Almost 2 weeks.
That's right.
We'll definitely stream that. We stream it live. Dodgers pay, yeah.
That excited to actually draft a team this year.
Yes. Well, I guess I didn't think about it. This is going to be your first, not counting the Underdog best ball drafts, your first live draft for a full
Yes,
week.
this will be my first redraft draft.
Nice. Very nice. I hope you're ready. We're building up, towards next year when we start Dynasty League.
Oh boy, I don't know if I'm ready for Dynasty baseball.
Then you're all in. Andrea's ready. That's right. She joined it. She joined the league.
Nice.
She was so excited she joined twice, but then she left one. So
that's not fair. You got 2 teams in there. That's not fair.
No. And then she left. One of them left. But yeah, I've been there. Right? You click the button too many times. Yeah. What do you think? Look, we're talking Dodgers and Tigers. There's a guy Jack Flaherty. Did you have Flaherty last year?
Well, I did. And then I made the mistake of dropping him. This is very, very, very early in the season.
Yeah, very early.
And I never got him back.
But you never know, because Flaherty is a guy who was, I don't even know, fringe draft pick, barely drafted last year. Nobody expected. You don't know if he's going to stay healthy, right? And then you never know with a guy like that.
Yeah. In fact, I think I dropped him and then you picked him up. And then,
and then I dropped him.
His very next outing was that game he had 16 strikeouts. And I was like, what have I done?
You never know.
That was definitely one thing I learned as the season went on is, because I was streaming pitching. I was basically streaming my entire team, let's be real, because they were all hurt. Yeah. I started to figure out, okay, if I pick up a pitcher to stream and he pitches well, and he has another good outing and he has another good matchup and he pitches well, maybe just keep rolling with him for a while and see how he does.
Right.
Instead of just getting the quick hook on him.
Right. You're like, I need a guy for this week. But if he does well, then maybe it translates to next week, right? So
right.
It also depends. Like, did he just have a really soft, couple of matchups? Is that what it was? Or yeah, that's the tricky part of it. You don't know what's going to stick and what isn't. Okay. Well, that was my first direct snipe because I definitely wanted Westberg. All right, I'm gonna go pitching again.
Oh wow, the Jags cut Evan Ingram.
Did they really?
Well, they plan to. It says.
Man, they're cleaning house. Well, I know it doesn't benefit them to cut Etienne, but wouldn't be surprised if they ship him off for like a 6th round pick. New coach, new management. That happens, right?
Yep. Wow, Brenton Strange. Got to be high on Brenton Strange now.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's also got to say they're going to draft a receiver. I mean, they need to, or sign one.
They got to do something. We have Brian Thomas and Parker Washington. I guess, is Gabe Davis still there?
As far as I know, Gabe Davis is still there.
This the year? Is this the year for Gabe Davis?
Well, it could be. You know what? It will definitely be a year for Gabe Davis.
Maybe.
All right, I'm probably waiting too long in infield. I only have one infielder.
There
goes Berger.
I only have 2 infielders and 1 pitcher right now.
Oh, that's fine. That's not a problem.
I just know there's a lot of pitchers late that I like.
Yeah, actually, that's funny. I'm scrolling down right now, and I'm queuing them up because there's great pitching value here in this league. Okay, I do need an infielder.
I was gonna take Tovar.
I don't know. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go with Vinny.
Zach Galen's on the Diamondbacks now?
Yeah, he's still there.
He was solid. He was solid last year.
Solid. Let's see. Roki went high. Where did Roki go here?
I don't know, but I wanted to take him.
Yeah, I've been saying I don't want to buy too much into the hype. Partially because I got sort of not I don't say burned, but Yamamoto last year did get hurt. I just don't want to over invest, but it's I should get him at some point. Let's see. He went after Snell. Where did he go? How come I don't see him? No, actually, it's not too bad. 98. Yeah, he went basically right where his ADP right now is 99. So that's about right. I really hope Grayson Rodriguez is fine.
I was debating between him and Galen. Between those two. Is it Galen? Gallon? How do you pronounce his name?
Gallon.
All right, whatever. You know me. I always get the names wrong.
Well, it doesn't look like a gallon, but it is.
All right, there's somebody I really want here. Let's see if he makes it to me. It was not Goldschmidt, I will tell you that.
No, definitely not Goldschmidt. I'm guessing it's not Kevin Gausman.
No. Oh, what a bum last year.
Looking strong in the spring. That's what they're saying.
Oh, I'm sure.
People are talking.
You know, if they said he was taking steroids and HGH, I'd probably draft him again.
Then I'm in.
Because it's oh, okay. Suddenly he's got 3 more miles per hour on his fastball. How did that happen?
Suddenly doesn't fit in his uniform anymore, and he looks like Barry Bonds.
All right, Royce Lewis, let's go. I still believe. I still believe in you.
Yeah, you knew I was going to take him. You did.
Let's go, Royce. Stay healthy this year. Just stay healthy. Royce Lewis needs to get on some HGH or something. Stop getting hurt.
Yeah, no kidding.
Whatever those guys take to not get hurt.
Oh, okay. Aaron talking about Roki saying he in ESPN points league. Yeah, points league is a little different. I mean, this is a points league, but it's best ball, so a little slightly different beast. All right, let's leave it there. Yeah, that's one thing, and it kind of throws off the consensus ADP for platforms when you look at like a Fantasy Pros. ESPN is always way different than the others because I think it defaults to a points league, whereas Yahoo or some others default to Roto. So you'll see some big fluctuations. You know, a guy gets drafted like 40 spots later in ESPN than everywhere else. I can see that because of the problem, if there's a problem with Roki, with Yamamoto, with Snell, with any of these guys, Glass now, every Dodgers pitcher is number one, they're all apparently made of glass. They all get hurt. Number two is that we don't know how deep they're going to go into games, right? Because they're going to do the 6-man rotation. They're going to try to, keep these guys fresh for the playoffs. So you may not rack up as many points throughout the course of the season. So I think that's understandable. Okay, let's see what we got here. It's like you said, this is a problem. There's still all throughout the middle of these drafts, there's too many good pitchers I want. There's barely any outfielders I want.
Well, I'm already done at outfield, so that's good news.
Yeah, that's smart. Steve McClanahan. I'm huge on McClanahan.
Who do we like better between Steele, Flaherty, Senga, Kikuchi? But he's on the Angels. Come on.
Yeah, no, not Kikuchi. Steele's fine. He's solid. Flaherty, Jones interesting too. Senga could be the highest ceiling guy, but he basically missed almost all last year. So, Jeremy wants to know thoughts on Team 2. All right, let's see Team 2. I mean, we still got plenty of draft left. Let's see. Okay. Aaron Judge, number 2. Can't argue with that. Freddie Freeman. I keep saying I feel like Freeman, even though he's a top 25 pick, is still being a little bit undervalued. So, look, with all those outfielders off the board there, that's who I would have taken. So, honestly, Teoscar, very good in this format. Butler. Rosarena is on the fence about Rosarena. Like, he could bounce back, but I just wonder if his best days are really just behind him at this point. But also being in Seattle, that hitting environment just doesn't seem to be really that good for anybody. So Rosarena, I would probably have taken a guy with a little bit more upside there. Like I'm taking Bellinger over him. Maybe Doyle in this format. Or I might have... I mean, you already had 3 outfielders. I might have gone Albies like Chris, like you did, or O'Neill Cruz. So Rosarena, it's not a terrible pick, but that's probably not the guy I would have taken. I like Kowser. Your pitchers right now, you got Nola, Sasaki, Ober, Steele, very solid. So yeah, I like overall. How are you feeling about your team so far, Chris?
I think pretty good.
Yeah, there's not too much I would have done differently there at team 2. I think you got a good setup so far. You prioritize outfield early. I think that's, again, it's just the most important in this tournament. I mean, I got 4 outfielders I feel really good about, but and now it's like I do need at least 2 more. I don't feel good about any of them. So it's like I wish I would have taken more outfielders early. All right.
All right.
I'll take a guy I haven't taken yet, not in this format, Toglia. A little sleeper action there. I'll try not to fall back on my same usual late round sleepers like Garrett Mitchell.
Yeah, it's hard not to draft the same guys over and over again in these later rounds.
It's hard. It was like, when you draft State of Mind, you're like, I'm in on him. I want him. And then, but it's like, do I really need the same guy 5 times? Probably shouldn't. Oh, well. We're going to take some chances here. It's best ball. You're going to take chances anyways, right?
Exactly.
I will say this too. Some of these players who are lower here, especially at outfield, late or barely drafted or not drafted because they're platoon bats, guys who aren't everyday starters, I think they do have a little bit more potential value here in best ball, because even if you have a good week, where they play 3 or 4 times or just a couple of hot games, they could still get on the scoreboard for you. So you don't need them to be good every day, in other words, all season, especially if they're your 5th, 6th out of position. So like a Jock Peterson, I might take a Jock Peterson here. But am I going to take Jock Peterson? You know what? I already said his name. Well, let's take Jock Peterson.
There you go. Mackenzie Gore. What are we going to get from you, Mackenzie Gore?
I am probably on the verge of taking him in my TGFBI draft if he's still there in my next round. So we'll see.
All right. Well, I was actually debating taking this guy where I took Mason Wynn, so I guess I'll just take him now.
Very nice.
It was between him and Mason Wynn. So
yeah, I mean, it's got the power, get you those spike weeks. And just like that, round 15. All right. All right. Well, my queue just cleared out real quick. That's not good. like back to back to back. All right, I'm at 545. You are 356. See, that's again good. It's a smarter way to do it because now you can take those pitchers, those Flyers and pitchers. There's still good pitchers left, like even reliable pitchers, not just rookies and dart throwers. There's some solid, just veteran values out there
for sure. Like, there's even some upside guys like Gavin Williams. I think.
Yep, going late. I will say this just to warn you: don't take if you don't click on loan yet, don't take Luis Gill because just today he got hurt. He's out for 3 months.
Okay, yeah, sideline at least 3 months. Yeah, no thanks. Hard pass. Wow, it's funny. It's interesting to me that Salvador Perez is still ranked this low.
I know. I mean, I guess he's not young enough to be exciting on draft day.
I mean, I get it, but solid. Just solid. He was so good. He was good last year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, there are a lot of good pitchers. That was actually a tough choice. A lot of good pitchers on the board still.
That's a good one. He was on my queue. I'll just take his teammate next. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of pitchers I still like.
Yeah, there's like no outfielders that I feel remotely comfortable drafting.
Thankfully, I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. I say it so much, and I don't always do it. I mean, I did draft my first, 2 and 3 of my first 4 picks were outfielders, but then I feel like you just keep going, right? Why not just keep going? I'm just gonna do it. You know what? I'm just gonna do I don't know, what can you call it? Just straight outfielder, first 6 picks, hyper fragile. Can we call that hyper fragile?
I don't even know. Robust outfield.
Robust outfield. There you go. See, fantasy baseball doesn't have all these fancy names for draft strategies like in football. Like in football, everything has to have a name, right? Like zero
Right.
RB, hyper fragile, robust, hero, anchor. Like they didn't do that for baseball. We should. This is not that simple. I just realized that team that just drafted. You see his username?
It's like Flacco Wacko.
It says Flacco won a Super Bowl.
Well, you know what? It's true. He did.
True.
It's true. He did. And I was going to take Zach Eflin if he fell to me. So.
Oh, there's still plenty of pitchers.
That is true.
I like the commitment to every underdog draft he does. It's always there. Flacco won a Super Bowl.
Yes. let's just go Sal Perez. He treated me well last year.
Yep, nothing wrong with that. I just took a catcher / first baseman as well.
I mean, Sal Perez doesn't even catch.
Nah, not much these days, which is good. That's a good thing.
Actually, wait, did he catch last year? Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, I think,
No,
I mean, he does still catch, but
Yeah.
not nearly as much as he used to.
How old is this dude? Yeah, he's only 1 year older than Aaron Judge.
It feels like he's older. I feel like he's been around forever.
What's crazy? Aaron Judge only in his 9th season. Like, was he in college forever? Did he just never graduate? What happened?
I don't know. That's the thing with baseball. It's all different developmental paths, right? Guys debut at 20 these days, or they can debut at like 26.
Like, yeah, Aaron Judge didn't take his first Major League AB till he was 24.
Yep, a little late bloomer.
Then the very next year, he hit 52 home runs. It's pretty good.
It's not bad. It's all right.
I mean, in the 90s, that would have been like top 10.
Oh yeah, early
You
90s.
would have been like you were 10th in the league in home runs with 52.
It was a different time.
It's like 30 home runs. Okay, Slappy.
Slappy. That's funny. Yeah, and I don't know. I'm still torn on what version of baseball I like better. I mean, everybody likes offense, right? But I don't know. I've always kind of been more appreciative of good pitching. We see good pitching these days, but I don't feel like it was. I don't know. I feel like the pitchers back in the day were a little more craftsman-like. I don't know. Instead of just trying to blow hitters away like with filth and stuff, you know what I mean? They had to be more methodical.
Well, that's the thing. Even the pitchers back then, like Pedro Martinez, Greg Maddux, like they were nasty. And then Randy Johnson, oh my God, he was like,
no, he was just scary.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter how juiced up those hitters were; they were still scared of Randy Johnson. I just feel like that was a fun time for baseball all around.
Yeah, it was. I think it was. Baseball, Major League Baseball, a lot of times is its own worst enemy, right? Just does a lot of stupid things. It should just be a great game, but they don't know how to market themselves. I don't know. Some people say it's good. The whole thing, like, and to partly, even though there is a salary cap in the NBA, it's like, is it good to have those dynasties, those dominant teams, and the same teams are always at the bottom? Is it good to have the same teams always on top winning, or is it better to have parity where you don't know what's going to happen every year?
No, it's good. I mean, because look at the NBA, right? Like, because earlier this year, all the talk was the NBA. Oh my gosh, it's unwatchable. Oh my gosh, the NBA. And then what happened? We had Luka go to the Lakers, and now all of a sudden, I feel like everybody is back in on the NBA. Like all of a sudden, the Lakers are good and they're winning. LeBron, and now all of a sudden, I just saw the other day. I was at the gym, and on one of the TVs, they were talking about how the NBA is now must-watch TV. Like, this is the same season. The same season that you were earlier saying, like, NBA is unwatchable. It's definitely good. Like, Yankees-Dodgers World Series is definitely good for baseball. Whatever you think of
yeah.
the Yankees, whatever you think of the Dodgers, you love them, hate them, whatever. It's good for baseball. It just is. Because that
But
was
you're watching.
another great thing we had that baseball had back then was like the Red Sox and the Yankees were both good during that time.
Yep, that's right. The major
And
markets, the rivalry.
it made for great baseball. It made for compelling baseball, right? Because you either like, you hated the Yankees, those losers in Boston, they never win anything. Maybe they'll finally win something, right? It made you want to watch.
It's true. Yankees, Dodgers, basically a dream setup for the league. So if they can continue that, yeah. I mean, all the other fans of other teams might hate it, but it's still good for the game itself. I agree with that.
Yes. It's good for the game. But the problem with baseball, I feel like, is the same problem with hockey. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't watch a lot of NBA these days. But I could tell you who, like, the best. Like, I knew who Luka Doncic was.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I know who LeBron James is. Like, I couldn't even tell you. Like, okay, yeah, I know Shohei Ohtani. But, like, I can't even, you know what I mean? Like, like a non-baseball fan hardly knows any players.
It's true.
Like, I guarantee you, like, my mom, who doesn't watch a single football game, knows who Patrick Mahomes is. She knows who Travis Kelce is.
Right.
Like, she knows she knew who Tom Brady was. Like, she knew who these guys were. If I said, Mom, name me 3 baseball players, she'd probably be like, who's that guy from Japan on the Dodgers? Probably what she would say.
Maybe Aaron Judge. Maybe Mike
Probably
Trout.
not. I doubt she would know Aaron Judge. I doubt she would know Mike Trout. And it's the same problem with hockey. It's the same problem with hockey. Like, who are the best hockey players right now? Like, if you follow hockey, you know who they are. But if you don't, you don't.
Right. No, it's true. And that's why I keep saying baseball doesn't market itself. I mean, it's been a problem forever. And I don't know. They just refuse to fix it, basically. Like, okay, Trout doesn't have to be the face of the league, and it's too late now. But he didn't want to be. He's just not that kind of person. Okay, there are plenty of guys who would be willing to do it. And Ohtani is kind of, it. But there's plenty of other guys that you could do that with. They just, I don't know.
That was the thing during the steroid era. Like, you would watch Cardinals games. They weren't even that good. But is Mark McGwire going to hit one out today? Like, you'd watch the Cubs. I mean, the Cubs were okay. They'd make the playoffs, but it's like Sammy Sosa going to hit one. Like, everybody knew who these guys were. Like, even if you weren't, like I said, I remember when Mark McGwire was going for the record. We were sitting on my mom's couch. My mom was sitting right there watching the game with us to see if he could do it. You know what I mean? Like, my mom does not watch sports. She was sitting there watching to see if McGwire could do it. When Aaron Judge hit 62 or whatever it was a couple years ago, I barely saw anything about it. I'm sure if you followed baseball, it was a big deal, but like, okay, let me ask you this. Do you know that Wayne Gretzky's goals record is about to fall? His all-time goals record that everybody thought was untouchable. See, there you go. How terrible is that? How terrible is it that Alex Ovechkin is about to break a record that most people thought would never be touched? Like, one of those unbreakable records in sports. And nobody knows about it.
Wow.
Unless you really follow hockey.
Yeah. And I used to follow hockey, but I don't anymore. But exactly, if it's something of that magnitude, it should be out there more. Now, granted, I don't even watch like ESPN or anything like that anymore. I just stick to what you have to filter these days what you see and but still, I haven't heard anything about it at all.
Yeah, he's 10 away from breaking the record.
Wow.
It would be like if somebody was going after Barry Bonds' record, we'd be hearing about it. Like, everybody would know about it.
True.
But Ovechkin going after Gretzky's record, and like hardly anybody. That's like hardly any. Like, come on, should be everywhere.
No, that's the goals record, but surely he's not close to his overall points record, right?
No, no one's ever gonna. No, that's so out of reach. That is so out of reach.
All right.
But even the goals record seemed out of reach because, when Gretzky played, games would be like 7-5, 8-6. Now games are like, if you get 5 goals, it's like, wow, you scored that team scored a ton of goals. So that's why it seemed like the goals record would never happen. It's just way harder to score a goal. Like teams play so much better defense. Goalies are so much better.
Yeah, goaltending is better in general, but also now it's not the same guy out there all season. They shift and they have different goalie every other day to keep them fresh, and they'll go with the hot hand, so it's a little more efficient. All right, what are we there? Final round.
Final round, and you one more infielder. Ooh. Got my eyes on one. See if he makes it to me.
Well, I'm not going infield, so you don't have to worry about me. There's a record that I'm pretty sure everybody wants to see broken, and not sure if it will be, at least not anytime soon. Can somebody just play like 25 seasons and break Pete Rose's hit record, just so we don't have to ever talk about him again?
I mean, do people still talk about Pete Rose?
Well, they do now. I mean, obviously because he died not long ago, but then there's some more dirt. Like, as if he wasn't unlikable enough already. But anyways.
I mean, didn't he die?
Yeah.
So you know what that means? Now they'll put him in the Hall of Fame. Now that he's dead.
Well, not after what's coming out about him. I mean, I didn't get into. I don't want to get too into the details, but apparently he was in some sort of relationship with like a 15-year-old girl.
Oh, well, maybe they won't put him in the Hall of Fame then.
Yeah. All right, one more outfielder. That'll do it.
All right, I feel like Bryce Turang in this format.
Yep, that's a steal.
With his stolen bases.
No pun intended. Bowden Francis. Yeah, I already have a few Bowden Francis shares, so that's why I'm passing.
All right, well, I'll say this about Bowden Francis, because he was a guy I picked up towards the end of the season last year and just continued to play him. But I mean, okay, it's the last round, whatever. But I mean, anytime a guy just gets hot for like 2 months like that, I have my doubts.
Oh yeah,
like where was this? Like where has this guy been all these years?
It's true. That's why you can't overreact to a late season surge. All right. And Jeremy goes Reese Olson, and they're nice pick. He had a pretty solid season statistically.
Yeah, Reese was a guy I also continually streamed and dropped and streamed and dropped. He was pretty solid.
All right, that does it. Another dinger in the books. Thank you, Andrea. Appreciate you. How you feeling about your team?
Me or Andrea?
No, you.
Oh, I think it's okay.
You're being too modest.
I don't think it's the worst team I've drafted.
All right, let's see real quick what we got. Close this one. Okay, completed. Okay, so your team picking sixth again. Did waited quite a bit on pitcher, which is good strategy. Got Pablo Lopez, Zach Gallen, Jared Jones, Sanchez, Evaldi, Manea, and Baz. I like that pitching staff. You know, maybe one borderline ace with Lopez, but again, it doesn't matter if you have the one guy who is the one top scorer in that position. It's best ball. You just need guys who be consistent. So I like your staff, but more so I like the strategy because then, okay, so infield, you got Albies, Walker, Lewis, Wynn, Raleigh, Perez, Terang. Good mix there. But outfield, got Carroll, Churio, Langford. I mean, that trio right there, look, there's no guarantees, right? With young toolsy players. There's never a guarantee, but you have amazing upside with your first three outfielders, and then you have very solid floor with your last three outfielders. So I think it's a good build.
I'll take it. We'll see how it does. We'll see.
We'll never know. Okay. I like my pitching staff a lot. Got Gilbert, Burns, Yamamoto, Green, Ryan, Luzardo, and Meyer. A little flyer there. I've been getting Joe Ryan as my fifth starter, but then it's like, okay, did I go too pitching heavy in the middle rounds? My infield feels solid. Bryce Harper, of course. I like Vinny in this format. That's why I reached a little bit on him, but I think he's more valuable, points league. Volpe, and then a little risky with Taglia, but Contreras, I think, will be a good pick all year. So my infield is not super exciting, but it's solid. And then here's what I need my three outfielders to be studs as well. So Tucker, Julio, Harris, kind of the same as yours, right? Three very, very toolsy, five-tool kind of guys who either have had injury history or inconsistency or whatever. So, and then Jason Dominguez, the ultimate, ultimate, who knows what you're going to get. It's interesting, but you kind of have to do that in best ball. You have to take calculated risks. You just have to.
Exactly.
All right, guys. Well, I'm glad you drafted Jeremy with us. It is time to get ready for more drafts. So check out all the videos on Fantasy Endgame MLB. Subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you on the next one.